Well, my name is Sky, and this is why you should join the military. This is kind of this is something I've been thinking about, and I realize that for a lot of people, they don't know or understand what the military is. I served for 5 years in the Army, joined to be an airborne journalist. I ended up out in Hawaii as a phone operator. So I'm writing a book about my experience, and if you're curious about what the military is like, you can read about it. I posted a rough draft of what I've started. I'm going to try to get it published soon, but if you're interested, just go to my my website. It's on Yahoo Groups under Sky-Writing, so you can you just need to log on and you can have access to it. You can read it. So for all of you who are thinking about military and are just afraid or you don't know what's going to happen, this and that, for one thing, if you are thinking about joining the military, right there, yeah, you can join. Go for it. Don't be afraid. You'll be afraid, yeah. You'll get over the fear. That's the thing. That's something to realize. When you watch movies like Full Metal Jacket, just realize that's an extreme example. The military is a bit more calmer, more sane, and it still has its wild elements, but I went through with men who couldn't do a push-up, and they got out of it. I went through with women, and some of the daintiest women you can imagine. A girl that tall, skinny, blonde, who bruised easily, and she made it through. In fact, she'd gone through the Air Force before, and anybody can make it. You just have to have like a little mental toughness, and that's it. If you're mentally tough a little bit, your body will grow. It'll get tough. Some of the things to realize, consider, is that if you're in high school, by the way, and you're kind of thinking about and wondering about your future, a couple different ways you can go about it. And in a way, my personal philosophy about it all is that I think it wouldn't hurt, and I think it'd actually be a good thing. And a lot of my thinking is about the way society should go and the way American society should go is that I'm kind of leaning towards the old Athenian model of you encourage everybody to serve in the military if they're part of the government or the part of the democracy. And the reason why is because that fosters this idea that, well, you have a shared interest in the future of the country. I think it could be possible that if the U.S. government could do it so that when you graduate high school, you can spend a year in the military. And if you're a kid, from high school or in college, and you're, thinking to yourself, oh, God, that'd be horrible. I don't want to do that. Well, realize you get paid. You get paid decent money. You'd have access to free health care. You'd be, at a lot of places, you have access to free college education. You could literally, while you're, in the military, be going to college courses at night on the weekends while you do your regular job. Now, and there's also the whole Iraq-Afghanistan. I don't want to go to war. I don't want to have to, fight. I don't want to put myself in harm's way. I'll fight, but I don't want to be involved in something like that. Well, there's ways you can get around with that. And that's something that recruiters don't exactly want to talk about, and a lot of people don't want to talk about because you're going to create a disingenuous military force. But there's a lot of people who don't mind being sent over, and who are in right now, and they're just kind of count their chickens. And I have to. So this is kind of a bad thing I'm suggesting, but it's up to you to decide. You can request station of choice, and that is you only want to go to one place. You can train for whatever job, but you only go to one place. And you'll be there for a few years. You get transferred after about 2 or 3 years, but even then you can get extensions. So you could conceivably, kind of like me, go through the military from September 11th on and never see combat. There are a number of people I worked with that had never seen combat. And I was one of the guys that wanted to go. So, and the thing is that because I started out unsure, I wasn't sure I could even handle being in the military. I had been through college, and then when I got finished, halfway through, I want to say, I kind of realized, in fact, even before then, about a year in the Army, I think to myself, God, I should have went as an officer. Because then I'd be getting paid more, treated better, not, talked down to by all these, ingrates and ungratefuls and just, just total jerks. Have a bit of respect, and so something to consider. But in my opinion, you get a lot of benefit out of being in the military. Access to the universal health care is an amazing thing. You're sick with anything. There's any kind of problem. You don't have to worry about it. You just go to the doctor right there. If you think that, oh, I just don't feel good right now, I don't want to work out, I want to go see the doctor. Raise your hand, go see the doctor. And something else is that there's the whole, well, people can shut you up, but, there's also a lot of people have to listen to you. So that's something else to consider. This is just, I'm not saying stuff to give ideas a wrong impression. Don't think that you can join the military and just be a lump and not do anything, not accomplish anything, and get fat. It's going to drive you. It will motivate you and encourage you to do a lot, for yourself and for other people. And that's actually a good thing, because that makes you realize what you're capable of, how you as a person, an individual, can, work with people, work against people, work by yourself, work in charge, work as a subordinate. You can understand how to organize and how you as part of that organization can be effective. That's why I kind of want to encourage people to join the military, is because it's going to make you realize, once you join the military, that you can be effective for your country and in the government as well. You can better express your opinion to politicians, and also when you express your opinion, your voice has clout. If anything, politicians will listen to veterans, is what I've noticed. Veterans groups, they hold a lot of money, they hold a lot of power and influence. If a veterans group supports somebody, people tend to side with those veterans. So that's something to consider. The other neat aspect is that if you have children, they could be illegitimate children. If they are claimed by you, if you are beholden to take care of them, the military will pay for them, will give you money for those extra kids. If you need counseling, if your children need health care, if your children have special needs, if you develop special needs, if your parent, if you have a single parent and they can't take care of themselves, you can claim them as dependent and take care of them. You can travel outside of the United States. You can travel to different parts of the United States. You can see different communities and different people anywhere. Like I said, station of choice. You can go to Germany. You can go to Italy, even. And Italy, where they got even gambling machines and gas stations and quickie marts and stuff like that. But anyways, it's a eye-opener, and that's something to realize. It's an eye-opener about yourself. It's an eye-opener about the world. It's a way of educating yourself, of learning about what's out there. So you don't look down upon it. Don't fear the military, even though you will be afraid, in it. And that's just human nature. There will be maybe some moments, if you go in and you start talking to a recruiter, they'll tell you anything you want to hear. That's something to realize. What you should do is say, well, tell me about this job. All right, now can you get me somebody on the phone who I can talk to, who does this job? And you can talk to that one guy. And then, and say, well, all right, now I want to talk to somebody else that does it, from a different, place. And try to get, push them to get, 5 different points of view about the same job from, 5 different, parts of the world. And, also the older, the guy the better, but, because they'll have more experience in other places. But, yeah, if you can talk to somebody about a job and, after talking to a few people, your gut reaction or your gut tells you one way or another, then yeah, go for it. So that's something to realize, You can get a recruiter to more or less bend over backwards for you if you know what to do and know what to say. A lot of people talk about recruiters, the recruiter screwed me and this and that. Some cases, yes. Some cases, it's the guy didn't know. The person didn't know. So it helps to talk to a number of people and a number of veterans and people who've been in, people who are in.